the sprayer. Look. Hello my friends and welcome to a new video. My name is Emma, you might know me as Perfumerism, and today we're going to talk about fall perfumes. Way back when I made a video called blind buying my entire fragrance wish list, and that's one of my most viewed videos, and I have gotten so many comments saying, Emma, you should make another video, and I needed a few months to maybe financially recover from that video. Over the summer, I was very happy with the fragrances that I bought. I find that when fall comes, I had a whole new fall wish list. There's so many new perfumes for fall, there's so many viral perfumes, and so many launches that I had on my wish list. So I felt like it just made sense to do a new fall version of blind buying my fragrance wish list. Side note, I did reach out to Lucky Scent and tell them that I was planning this video, and so they offered to contribute a little bit. So some of the fragrances were sent to me from Lucky Scent, which was super nice because I was about to order them. Thank you to Lucky Scent for supporting this channel and seeing my vision. So today we're gonna be smelling a bunch of new fall perfumes, viral perfumes, and just kind of seeing what's worth it. And so if you're looking for new fragrances for fall or anything like that, hopefully this video will be of some kind of help to you. Let's get into it. So first, let's talk about some fragrances from Sephora that really caught my eye. I have always loved Kilian fragrances, especially for fall. They have their On the Rocks collection, which is just the most delicious, liquor-y, boozy fragrances, and Angel's Share has been on my mind ever since I smelled it. It is one of the most strong, long-lasting, far-projecting fragrances, and it is life-changing. And I was at Sephora a few days ago, and I smelled the Kilian fragrances. They had the new Old Fashioned, and they had Angel's Share. And I'll put in my reactions here because I did spray on both of them. Old Fashioned had the most insane opening along the lines of Angel's Share, but a little more subdued. And I didn't know the notes when I looked it up. I thought it was supposed to smell like an Old Fashioned, but I really got like a tonka bean and tobacco kind of smell. So I was super obsessed with that. It lasted forever on my hand. Then I also sprayed Angel's Share, which again smelled so good. And I felt like Angel's Share just got better and better. Like Old Fashioned's opening was breathtaking, mind-blowing, and it wore beautifully, but I felt like Angel's Share, the opening was like, okay, and then it just gets better and better from there, and then literally lasted on me so long. So thanks to my amazing Sephora discovery, we have the new Kilian Old Fashioned fragrance. And I also ordered a sample of Angel's Share from Lucky Scent too, so I do have both fragrances right here. Also, you guys, this is my scent strips thing, and I just think it's so cute. Like, made this in pottery class when I was like, I don't even know how old I was. Okay, let's spray Old Fashioned. I do not necessarily smell the notes that are listed in this. Like, the main note that's listed is wheat. This smells like tobacco. Like, this is a boozy tobacco scent. It does have a bit of a, I don't want to say powdery because powdery usually leads to florals, but this is more of like a, I guess that's the wheat. Like, wheat is starchy, I guess the word is, but it doesn't really feel even right to say starchy, but there's like a grainy or grittiness to it that I feel like tobacco does have. Like, I really, like, to me in my heart of hearts, this is a tobacco fragrance that I'm smelling. It's sweet. It's sweet. It's definitely on the like sweet boozy side. Super boozy, tobacco-y. This is kind of maybe what I would have thought Jazz Club would smell like. If you like Jazz Club, you will love this fragrance. Longevity is crazy. Projection is insane. It's just like a sweet, boozy tobacco scent is what I smell from this. I'm really glad that I smelled this for the first time without ever looking at the notes because I was really surprised when I saw that this is an herbal scent. Like, the main notes are wheat and Divana. I guess I could maybe see Divana in here. Tolu Balsam, I think that's definitely what's coming through. Yeah, it's a really interesting fragrance. I don't know if I get the wheat, but to me, it's tobacco is what I smell from this. And it's beautiful. So huge fan of Old Fashioned. Let's move on to Angel's Share. Now, Angel's Share is one of my top recommendations for fall fragrances. I literally am always thinking about it when I'm thinking about fall fragrances. One note that I've been really intrigued by lately is cinnamon, and this fragrance is cinnamon. This has also been the top fragrance on Fragrantica for a long time, so it is definitely popular and very well loved. This is like a warm baked apple scent. It's so delicious and pretty. This one has more acidity than Old Fashioned. Old Fashioned is very well blended. I feel like it's more of a straightforward fragrance where you're not really going through highs and lows and discovering things. This is a fragrance where you're gonna really be discovering as you're smelling. It's interesting that I always thought that there was an apple note, but there's not. It's cognac and cinnamon. I mean, maybe there's apple, but it's kind of funny. I've seen fragrances where like this one, and also Ojon from Parfum de Marly, I also said it smells like an apple pie. And a lot of people in my comments are like, there's no apple in it. You're crazy. I wonder if there is apple nuances that they don't list, or if there's kind of like a roundabout association that I have in my mind, because cinnamon's usually paired with apples. And so I get cinnamon, but I get like a fruity acidity that to me is apple. Like I get apple in here. I get the Hedione. I love Hedione. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And like you just uncover things. It's unisex. And there's also like kind of a homey aspect to this. I think I talked about my personal associations with apple pie and Thanksgiving, and like this fragrance isn't gonna make you think of like getting together with your elders, you know what I mean? Like that, it's not gonna make you think of like family. It's really sexy, and I think that the nuances that have the apple cinnamon pie, that when we think of like holidays, getting together with people, has this like inherent nostalgic value that I think is why this fragrance is so popular, because there's this kind of like nostalgia. Like everyone has nostalgia with cinnamon and baking spices and like vanilla and stuff. And so I think that there's a nostalgic factor to this fragrance, but it's done in a way that you don't think, it's not so photorealistic apple pie. You know, it's not just like, oh, this smells like an apple pie. Like there's the apple pie facets that kind of like strike the nostalgic, psychologically pleasant associations in people's minds, but the fragrance is really sexy. It's really attractive and addictive and strong. Oh my goodness, this lasts so long, and it's so good. So I love it. I definitely want a full bottle of it. It's so amazing. And yeah, I'm just like, I'm so happy. So pleasant, very good. So those are the fragrances from Sephora. Let's move along. I brought you guys a little closer. Next up, we have my lucky scent order, and I have 2 full bottles here. I'm gonna go through and see if these blind buys were worth it. These were the ones that were actually sent to me from Lucky Scent. I actually polled you guys on my Instagram to ask everyone's favorite fragrance for fall, and so I kind of wanted to like base this video off of that, and also like new viral fall fragrances. But there was one fragrance that is not necessarily a fall fragrance, but this was on my wish list so strongly. A sample of this from Lucky Scent after seeing like TikTok reviews. I went through my sample like that. This perfume was addictive to me. Like there was some kind of drug in it. I'm convinced this perfume is addictive. It is a fluffy vanilla with a matcha note. It's so expensive that like I wanted it so badly. Like I would stay up at night thinking about this fragrance. Like ever since spring, this perfume has not left my mind. Like it's the amount of real estate this has taken up, insane. So it's not necessarily like a fall fragrance, but I mean, it's a vanilla scent. This is called Happy Dust from Narcotica. Also coming out with a new fragrance called Love Me Latte, which I did also buy samples of. So we'll smell that one too. I think Love Me Latte is a little more fall coated. Here's the box. Slay, slay, slay. There's a little sticker to show that nobody's been in there before. Like a virgin. Hey, this is my fragrance that I have been so limerent for. It's an extrait de parfum, which is a slay. This is not the most long-lasting fragrance, I'll say that. It's an extrait de parfum, but it's not like crazy longevity. Let's smell it and see if this is as amazing and perfect as I remember. At this point, I kind of don't really remember what it smells like. I'm like, I remember the notes loosely, but like, I just remember it smelling really good. Oh, the sprayer, look. I love a continuous sprayer, okay. Oh. Yes! Happy girl. Happy girl. I am saying this with full awareness that this is a very simple, fluffy vanilla scent. Like it's a very fluffy, airy vanilla scent. It's very simple. I'm sure, like you can get so many vanilla scents out there that are like a fraction of the price and have kind of the same vibe. But after I sampled this and got used to like exactly this DNA and exactly this fragrance, like there's nothing that will scratch that itch for me because this perfume is so perfect. I love this. This is the perfect fragrance for me. Like it's so easy, which is one thing that I really like. I love a complex fragrance. I can appreciate a complex fragrance, but fragrances like Haultain from Parfum de Marly, that's a fragrance that I own. It's not one that I reach for every day because it's like a strong projecting beast mode performer, and I don't have much reason to wear Haultain around the house. But fragrances like this, like just a really nice fluffy vanilla, I get so much wear out of. And so I find that the fragrances that I tend to like reach for all the time are fragrances that I just feel very comfortable and like easy and at ease wearing. So for me, this is worth it because it is a fragrance that, sure, it's not the most complex for like special occasions and stuff like that, but it's so likable. It's so easy. There's never a time when I wouldn't want to put this on. Like wake up in the morning, I feel comfortable putting this on. Going to the gym, I'll put this on. Going out to get groceries, I want to put this on. Going to bed, I want to put this on. Lounging, reading a book, I want to put this on. Like I want to always be smelling this. It's so easy. Like it's not a fussy or particular scent. So I feel like for me, it's just so good and I love it. And it's a really well done vanilla. So Slay Narcotica. Also the fragrances that I've talked about so far, I've already tried them all before before on skin and everything, so that's why I didn't spray on skin. This next fragrance is one that is extremely popular for fall, and this is one fragrance that have united all of my fragrance friends. Like everyone who has different taste in fragrance, like even my friends who love like super ultra niche, my friends who like really gourmand, like everyone seems to be united over this fragrance is incredible. Like it seems like there's a general consensus that this is an amazing perfume. I've never smelled it. I thought it'd be perfect for fall, and this is called Peach's Revenge by Sarah Baker. And I actually didn't know what the bottle looks like. This is also an extrait de parfum made by Chris Maurice. Okay, let me show you. Peach's Revenge. I think I know the notes because I've looked into this fragrance obviously to get it, but I'm just gonna spray it on skin and like see what I think. I'd seen this on TikTok and I thought it looked really simple. I'm pleased to say that the packaging was more complex and luxurious than I thought it looked like originally. Like feeling this, it's actually very heavy. There's a lot of little mini details on the bottle that make it feel luxurious. Let me spray it on my hand. Okay. I just got like a little whiff. This smells like cough syrup. I haven't smelled it close to my face yet, but like in the air, I got it really strongly from just spraying it over here, and it smells really strongly like a medicine I used to have, like Halls. This smells like Halls. Okay, I haven't brought it to my face yet, but immediate thought, my hand is this far from me. The smell of Halls is so distinct and like so strong in my mind because in school, like when I was in elementary school, middle school, high school, if there was a person beside me eating Halls, specifically like the main one, like the red one, you can smell them eating Halls. It's like if someone beside you is chewing gum, like you can smell their gum. This smells like the person beside me is eating Halls. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's just what it smells like. I don't know if let me think about it. Let me think about it. Okay, getting closer to this fragrance, I don't smell the Halls anymore, which makes sense because Halls, I think it's a cherry scent, but to me it kind of smells like this. I think it smells like medicine. I think it smells medicinal. I think it smells strong. I knew I was hyping this up like a little too much, and I knew I maybe wouldn't like it as much as I expected, but like I don't really like it as much as it was made out to be. I get peach, but I get a lot of the guava, which is like really sour and tart and acidic. Like I get a very strong acidity in this. I've just smelled the opening, so I'm gonna let this sit and come back to it in a little bit, and I'll let you know what I think. I'll edit it in. Right here. Peach's Revenge has dried down in my hand, and I'm gonna let you know what I think of it. The qualm that I have with peachy fragrances is peach doesn't have oil. Peach doesn't have a peel that we can express to create perfume oil. Like as perfumers, the best thing that we can do is, I use the word we, I'm not a perfumer, but the best that like we, as in us, our society, can do to create peach is synthetics that sort of have a peach vibe. And so the closest that we have are like different aldehydes that have kind of peachy nuances. And one thing I learned from Rodrigo Flores Rue, who is the head of perfumery at Givaudan, he's a botanist, and one thing that he taught me is that fruits have a cycle. Fruit tends to go from green and underripe. It isn't ripe yet. You get that kind of green, like sour bitterness. What it releases when it's green are aldehydes. These are kind of like green, fresh, like underripe kind of smells. And then as a fruit ripens, it starts to release ketones, which are more fatty, they're more whole, they're more developed, they're more jammy, rich, and they can sometimes smell overripe, like those notes alone. For peaches, we really only have aldehydes, which are the more green, underripe kind of notes. I wanted to kind of fact check myself here because apparently aldehyde C14 is not actually an aldehyde, it's a lactone. I'm adding a side note to my side note. Manufacturers way back when used to mislabel their fragrances or like give it a name that denotes a type of functional group that the fragrance molecule actually is not in. So it was the same thing with strawberry, which was aldehyde C18, I think. Anyways, they would call them aldehydes. So if any other manufacturers wanted to try to recreate a competitor, they would try to create an aldehyde. But the fragrance is not an aldehyde, it is a lactone, so it's purposefully misnamed. Gamma undulactone is the other name for aldehyde C14. So I was wrong, it's not an aldehyde. It is true that aldehydes generally come from less ripe plants. Gamma undulactone is the other name for aldehyde C14. So I was wrong, it's not an aldehyde. It is true that aldehydes generally come from less ripe plants, but nope, this note is a lactone. My hypothesis was like, oh, it's an aldehyde, that's why the peach doesn't smell right, is because it's a green scent rather than a ripe scent. But no, the fragrance is not an aldehyde, it's actually a lactone, which is like more in the middle. That's like a pretty characteristic scent of peach. So the reason why it doesn't smell right, I'm not really sure. My hypothesis was incorrect as to why the peach note smells off here. There might not be an explanation. Maybe it's just because it's synthetic, but anyways, my hypothesis was incorrect, but I thought it was still interesting to share. So I was wrong about that. Still, the fragrance notes that we do have to create peach are synthetic, and therefore they're not representative of the entire aroma that you would experience when smelling a peach. So I've been currently led down a rabbit hole to figure out what are we smelling when we smell peach and throughout the different cycle. Apparently peach rots really easily, so maybe the ripe smell of a peach is like the lactones mixed with different rotting kind of notes. All just my personal hypotheses. I'm gonna keep looking into this. Just wanted to let you know, I don't actually know the answer here. It's something I will look into, but I wanna stay curious and always keep you guys informed. Yeah, if any of you know more about peaches, let me know. And that's all I had to add. When I smell a peach fragrance, it's usually very green and more on the underripe note. However, if you cook a real peach, it's supposed to smell the other side. Like it's supposed to be on the other side of the spectrum. I feel like the peach sticks out and doesn't blend in with everything else. Like it doesn't feel like it's done pretty well in this, but I find that sometimes when you try to do like a baked peach scent, you can add brown sugar all you want, but the peach is never gonna smell cooked. It's never gonna be a cooked peach because we don't have fragrance notes that make the peach smell cooked. I think that this has added in enough other notes that are more on the like ketone kind of scent to make that happen. I know there's guava in here. I don't exactly know the chemical composition of the notes that they used. I mostly get peach and guava, and so even though that there is caramel and amaretto and all these notes happening, I think it's definitely a high quality fragrance, but only on the fruity side with kind of like a very pleasant warm background. It's very, very expensively done, but unfortunately I think maybe I just do have like associations with these fruity notes that makes me think of like cough syrup and stuff like that. Again, it's not bad or anything, but I just don't see myself reaching for this, so this was a pass and not exactly a hit for me. Okay, the next fragrance that we have is called Love Me Latte by Narcotica. The bottle is just like this. It's supposed to smell the same. I did know the notes when I looked it up. I don't remember them. I'm not gonna look them up. I'm just gonna give you my thoughts. Let me put it on card. I'm gonna let it sit for a second. Okay, it has been about 20 minutes and I have let the fragrances dry down. So let's talk about the Love Me Latte first. Love Me Latte is a really creamy, buttery fragrance. I still haven't looked at the notes. I get coffee, something toasted, very gourmand, and like a cream buttery. I almost get like nutty nuances as well. I don't know if that's the coffee or like what else is in here. Okay, I guess that is the milk note. I was gonna say that it's maybe like milky. I think this is really pretty. It's very whole, very rich, super interesting, like the fruity nuances. It's a very complex fragrance, but it is a gourmand. I think it's really pretty. I don't know if I would get a full bottle at this time right now, but I think it's one that I like sampling and I think it smells really pretty. So definitely not a unfortunate, like definitely happy with that. And that is all that I have for now. So we'll check back in later. All right, hello again, it's a new day. So originally when I set out to make this video, I ordered fragrances from Lucky Scent. Ordered a bunch of samples of fragrances that I wanted to try for this video. And then after placing that order, I was in touch with Lucky Scent, told them about this video, and they're like, oh, we're happy to help. So they sent me the full bottles that I just opened, and they also sent me a few more samples. So I have samples that they sent to me as fragrances that are really popular for fall, fragrances they think are gonna be super big hits. And then I had my thing of ones that I purchased. I can't find the one I purchased. I unboxed it. I was smelling them with my boyfriend. Yesterday I threw out the packaging for it and I just went through my trash looking for it, and anyways I can't find it. So I do have the ones that Lucky Scent sent, and there were a few overlaps of ones that I bought and ones that they sent me like doubles of, so I don't know if I pour them all into here. Okay, let's talk about this one. So this one is called Glow by Acro, and I like Acro. You know, Olivier Cresp is kind of the king of gourmands, and I've tried this on skin and already wear tested it. I wore it out to dinner a few nights ago. I think this one's really pretty. It's definitely like, it's an amber pink pepper fragrance. This is like Rouge Malachite, but without the white florals. I love the spiciness. It's the pink pepper. It's not, some pink peppers can be really itchy. This one, the pink pepper is more, rather than having like a sharpness or a grittiness, sometimes pink pepper is a top note that just hits you at the top, but this one is like, the pink pepper has blended seamlessly with the amber to become a characteristic of the amber. So beautiful, and like, this is incredibly well done. I know Acro has so many fans. I'm not particularly a fan of the brand. It's not that I dislike them. I just feel kind of nah about them, but like, so when I got this as a sample, I was kind of like, ah, but I love it. And I mean, I love pink pepper. I'm a big pink pepper girly. I don't know if I find this particularly like fall. I almost find it more of a winter scent, probably because of that Rouge Malachite. Even though this doesn't smell like Rouge Malachite, it just has a similar scent profile where it's amber and pink pepper, except Rouge Malachite is a white floral scent. This one's really pretty, and it's also like a unique fragrance because I find that there's a lot of like warm, spicy amberies, and this is, anyways, I just think it's quite gorgeous and really took me by surprise. I think it's a good option for fall that's not overdone, you know what I mean? I don't know a lot of fragrances like this, so I quite like it. So that was a pleasant surprise and one that I didn't really know about before. Let's talk about this one. This one is called Mirage Gourmand by Les Nobles Essences. And I have worn this a few times the past few days. This one's really popular online, and I think that the name adds to popularity. I think that it was also being sent out to a lot of influencers, so there was a lot of discussion about this fragrance. I don't like this that much. And see, gourmand notes are really popular, and I love a gourmand. I love a gourmand fragrance, but I feel like gourmand fragrances usually are beautiful because they have gourmand notes really well placed within a formula. Like gourmand fragrances that are gourmand without putting everything that has sweetness into one formula. You know, the vanilla is added in tastefully among other notes to make it like a beautiful masterpiece. And this one is just like you dumped every sweet fragrance into, it's sweet, it's thick, it's syrupy, it's really strong. If you want a really strong, dense fragrance, but it doesn't like even smell particularly expensive. Like it's too much. I don't like it. It just smells like noise, but like sweet noise, but it's like not even that sweet. Like it smells like I walked into a perfume factory. And I've been in a perfume factory before and I don't think it even smelled. But anyways, this one just smells. It just smells. I don't like it that much. I'm not trying to allege that anyone was lying about their opinions. I think people might like it, but it was just definitely not for me. Let's talk about another fragrance that really disappointed me, that my hopes were like so high about. And I don't know if I actually like talked about this yet, but there was a recent launch by Atelier des Ors. It's called Blue Madeleine, and it is tea and Madeleine fragrance. It's supposed to be like a gourmand scent with tea. I bought this sample of it. I put it on my skin and the smoke note is so strong. This smells like cigarettes on me. Like, and I mean, I did kind of expect it. Like if it's gonna be tea with like a little cookie cake, I expected it to be a gourmand with maybe a bit of a fresh twist because tea is usually fresh, but the photography was insane for this launch. It's not bad. I definitely smell tea, but I don't smell any ounce of a Madeleine. My boyfriend told me that I smelled like cigarettes. The smoke note really pulled forward on me. I don't know if that's just me. I don't know if other people have that too, but like it's not bad. I'm smelling it now and it smells nice. Like it was obviously made by a master perfumer, but I think that the marketing was a little misleading here. It was definitely much leaning toward the people who want like a gourmand or a tea scent. The thing is, I just made a video on cozy tea scents because tea is one of my favorite cozy notes, to be warm and cuddly, and like taking that and putting like a really dirty cigarette-y smoke note on top of it is completely antithetical to the purpose of what would make me want to buy a tea fragrance. I know there's other tea fragrances like Indigo Smoke by Arquiste. I'm not a big fan of that, but they call it smoke. Like it's marketing to be like a smoky fragrance. This one was not, but this one definitely has a tea note. Like it definitely has that kind of fresh herbal quality, but I was just disappointed. Like it was not what I'm looking for. Thankfully, I didn't blind buy a full size of that one. And as always, I'm not saying it's like objectively bad. It's just based on my taste. I love a gourmand. I love tea, so I really wish that it focused on those notes a little more than it did. Let's try this fragrance. This is a fragrance I've always wanted to try because it has a pumpkin note, and it's called Tilda Swinton Like This by Eldo. Basically, if you're on my TikTok, you maybe have heard a correlation between pumpkin fragrances and vasodilation for men. It's kind of become this like clickbaity thing of people wanting to attract a partner, essentially use a fragrance as like an aphrodisiac that has a pumpkin note. And so everyone's been looking for a pumpkin fragrance, and this is like one of the only pumpkin fragrances that there is. This fragrance has been recommended a lot just because it has a pumpkin note, but I haven't heard a lot of people recommend it outside of that context. So I don't know if it's actually good or if it's just one of the only pumpkin fragrances. So when you make a list of pumpkin fragrances, you put this one in it. So anyways, I'm curious to see what it smells like. My expectations are not very high. Cheers. Let's give it a smell. Oh, I like this. Okay, wait, I like it. It's not like, it smells like a fresh kind of peach nest tea. I feel like this is giving my brain a massage. Like I'm smelling this and I'm like, ooh, I'm happy. Like I don't know what I'm smelling, but I'm just like dopamine is coming out. Like what if my hands go red from all this vasodilation? fresh and a little ambery. I got like I don't know if it was an orange note or like some kind of citrus in the opening. It's slightly sweet. Okay, I'm definitely gonna put this on skin. I wanna test this on skin. I was not expecting to like this. I don't really know much about it other than there's apparently a pumpkin note. I'm really liking this fragrance. I'm getting like a ginger beer. It feels good on my brain. Like smelling this, I'm like, I can't really put my finger on what I'm smelling. Like soft spices, like there's something in the top that I can't really put my finger on. Like there's something happening on top. I'm guessing, I think I'm smelling ginger, but I'm not sure. I don't know the notes other than apparently there's a pumpkin note, but I don't really know what that smells like. I'm also getting like a little bit of sunscreen. It's not that strong on my skin, but I'm really interested in this one. I like it on card a lot. On card, it's a little more like warm spicy, and I've never really liked an Eldo to the point where I would wear one. Like I like You or Someone Like You, but I only ever had a sample of it. So even when I would wear the sample, it never really felt like I was wearing an Eldo perfume because I didn't have like the full bottle. I had I Am Trash, didn't like that one that much. Going back to the Tilda Swinton, it's dried down a lot, and this fragrance kind of reminds me of, oh my god, Sparkling Joe from Wilhelm, except it's less sparkling. This kind of has like the qualitative aspects of Sparkling Joe, except it doesn't have the sparkling. It's not as fruity, and it's not as, like there's a champagne note, but it's not as like twinkly. It's kind of just flat. Like there's not as much top notes. It's more like base heavy. Okay, this is from Chris Collins, and it's called Lust. I've never actually smelled anything from Chris Collins, but he is handsome, and I've heard really good things about his fragrances. I think he has one fragrance that's like chocolate, oud. I'm just gonna guess that that's what this one is. I started just putting it on my skin, and I'm starting to smell something, and I don't know if I like it. Maybe I should have put it on card first. I'm getting like a strong patchouli or something. Oh yeah, there's a lot of patchouli. This kind of smells like Angel Muse. I know a lot of people when I was in Stockholm, my friend Kayleen wore Angel Muse, and it smelled really good on her, but like it's still not my kind of scent kind of thing. It's like a chocolate patchouli. Definitely that's for a lot of people, not really my thing. This is like chocolate patchouli, but more gourmand. Angel Muse has more patchouli. This one has more gourmand. It's definitely like a chocolatey quality, maybe like fruity tones, a little bit of a plasticky note, kind of like Hypnotic Poison does. I don't know if any of these notes I'm guessing are correct, guys. That's not really what I'm going for today. I kind of just want to like, I don't know, I feel like listing all the notes isn't necessarily helpful. I kind of want to like tell you the feelings I'm getting, and I mean, I'm trying to guess the notes by explaining to you the smell, but I think it's really pretty. It's definitely strong. Like this is a perfume that I'm smelling and I'm like, whew. Like it kind of has that Mirage Gourmand vibe where it's, I'd say for now it's a little like if you like a Mugler fragrance, if you like Angel Muse, you'd like this. I want to look up the notes because I'm certain it's a chocolate patchouli scent. Oh my god, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I got the dark chocolate, but it's cypriol oil and oud. So that's what I was smelling. Interesting. In my mind, I was thinking patchouli, but it's oud. Those notes don't smell similar, but okay, let's see what we have next. Un Crime Exotique from Pierre Guillaume. I don't know much about Pierre Guillaume. They gave me another fragrance from him called Tonka Bodycon, which I've heard is good. Oh my god, what does this remind me of? Oh my god, what am I smelling? It's sweet, it's balsamic, a little spicy. Honey. It smells like honey and tobacco. That's what I'm smelling, honey and tobacco. Oh my god, I looked up the notes, that's crazy. Cinnamon, masala chai, star anise, gingerbread, vanilla tea, sandalwood. What? Yeah, the top thing says this smells like tobacco vanille. That's crazy. I smell this fragrance called Tobacco Rouge. I find these fragrances smell really, really similar. This one's like a honey tobacco scent. I'm not smelling tobacco, I'm smelling Tobacco Rouge, which has cinnamon. I think this is really pretty. Tobacco Rouge from Faydon is one of my favorite fragrances for fall. It's definitely like a really, really strong one, but it's so cozy. And this kind of smells like that. There's a lot of like cinnamon and chai fragrance notes and tea. I'm gonna put it on and see how it smells on my skin. I've been looking for a cinnamon fragrance. A lot of people have been asking me like cinnamon notes. I want to smell like a cinnamon bun. So I don't know if perfumers are not using cinnamon that much, but I feel like cinnamon has a distinct smell. Like in my life, if I put cinnamon powder on my latte, or if I am walking past a cinnamon bun place, I smell that cinnamon smell. I feel like it's a very distinctive scent. But in fragrances, I don't know if it's that people think it's boring to put in like just cinnamon, but a lot of people have asked me for cinnamon fragrances, and like Kilian Angels Share is a cinnamon fragrance. This fragrance is a cinnamon fragrance, but they don't smell the way that cinnamon smells when you walk past the Auntie Annie's, or when you walk past, like, I'm not getting cinnamon from this. Like maybe it's in there, but I'm not getting like just cinnamon. I'm not getting cinnamon. I'm getting maybe cinnamon, but is in the thing, but I'm getting like overall something else. And it smells so similar to honey, to Bac Rouge by Fadon, which is honey and cinnamon, which I don't know, I'm getting like honey. I don't know if it's that my mind has associated this smell with the notes of Bac Rouge because I've smelled because they smell similar. So like, to me, I'm like, oh, this is honey and tobacco. I don't know. I need to like wear this a little more and then kind of discover it for what it is, because in my mind, I'm just trying to be like, this smells exactly like Bac Rouge, but I don't have them side by side. Maybe I will have to smell them side by side. But anyways, I think this is really pretty and I really, really like it. I'm having a hard time like mentally categorizing it, but I think it smells so good. So I let it sit for a bit. It's been maybe 15 minutes and Un Crime Exotique is beautiful. I really get kind of like tobacco honey from this. I think it smells amazing. So this is a new fragrance called Love Me Latte from Narcotica, and this is one that I've actually already tried on and worn. This one was another interesting one. I felt similar to how I felt about Mirage Gourmand about this one, where it's kind of just like strong and gourmand, and there's like a milk note in here that I feel smells a little uncanny and a little off. I love milk notes. Like, I'm here for the milk notes, but I think it was just maybe a little bit too much in here. There's like immediately when you get it, it's kind of like there's sour notes plus milk. Like the milk, you get the milk for sure, but you get the sour, bitter coffee and like acidity, and in that like together, especially in the opening, is just not it. This dries down to be a little more pretty, but again, it's just, I don't know if I'm loving it. It's strong, it's sweet, and similar to Mirage Gourmand, it feels like they just kind of dumped every gourmand note into here, and I don't know if it's really working for me, which is upsetting because there's aspects to this that I do like, but I'm not really getting the coffee. I think that a fragrance that is similar to this that I think did a lot better is Amor Cafe by Mancera, which is a coffee ice cream fragrance that I literally reach for nonstop, and I think is so good and amazing and delicious. You can sample it at Twisted Lily for Emma10 for 10% off. But yeah, that's one I think that is done a lot better than this. So out of the few that I just tried, I think that my favorite is, I love Un Crime Exotique, Tilda Swinton Like This, and Acro Glow. I think Lust is also super gorgeous. It's a very like kind of beast mode, interesting, like the Cypriol kind of reminds me of a zoologist fragrance. So it's super complex. I think this would be very beast mode, very head turning. It's just not me at all. That's like not an Emma scent. Like I can't really do the like super strong, deep, dark fragrances. I wish I could, but I think that one is amazing for someone else. The rest of them, I'm kind of like, nah. Okay, well, that's all I have to say for today. I'll tune in with a little bit more later. Guys, and welcome back to the video. It's been a few seconds for you, but it's actually been several days for me. When I started this video, I had a lot of fragrances that I wanted to try, and some of the fragrances didn't come in time, and it didn't look like I could get my hands on. Some fragrances that I didn't know were coming showed up in PR. My last few fragrances that I'm going to share with you are ones that I wasn't necessarily expecting, but wanted very much. All these fragrances are ones that I have tested out, I've worn on skin, I've been able to wear test them. So in that last segment, you saw me talking about wanting a cinnamon fragrance, and I have this idea of like a cinnamon fragrance that I can mix with a vanilla to make a cinnamon bun fragrance. I got this in the mail from a small business. This fragrance is 50 milliliters and it's $60 US, I think. This is from Dyad, which is a sister. They actually have a YouTube channel. This is their little small business. They're based out of LA. And this fragrance is called Rise and Shine. Now, this was sent to me in PR. I had very little expectations. Look at how cute. I think the packaging is super, super cute. So I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. So I immediately sprayed it on, and this fragrance lasted on me all day into the next morning. I think I had just gotten out of the shower, and so I like wore it. It lasted on my skin for probably like 12 plus hours. Like this will last on your skin until you wash it off. And this is a cinnamon fragrance. This revived my joy and my hope that I could smell like a cinnamon bun, because this is what this fragrance smells like. It is literally fall in a bottle. It is incredibly long lasting, incredibly powerful. It's from a small business, which I think is even cuter, like even better. Okay, so it's supposed to be inspired by coffee cake. So there's cinnamon, toasted almond, cardamom. I definitely get the cardamom, cinnamon streusel, cafe au lait, pastry creme, vanilla bean, sandalwood, sheer musk, and amber. Which, does that not sound delicious? It smells like a cinnamon bun, but it's not super pastry-like. It's more of just kind of a cinnamon spice scent. It's really, really beautiful. I don't get a very strong like vanilla base, which I think is good because I feel like this would layer so beautifully on top of any type of vanilla perfume. And this is, anyways, this is just like a perfect cinnamon scent. So very, very surprised. Did not plan to put this in the video, but it was so perfect, and like how convenient that literally like a few days ago when I was last testing samples, I was talking about wanting a cinnamon fragrance. So this fragrance I feel like fell out of the sky and really was a treat, and this is definitely a highlight of this whole video, so highly recommend, from Dyad. Another fragrance that also seemingly fell out of the sky is called Nightcap from Orabella. Now this is a new launch from Bella Hadid's fragrance brand. As you guys know, I'm Canadian. Orabella is only in the States. They're US only. Currently they're only in Ulta. I'm assuming they're wanting to expand. A lot of people had asked me to sample Orabella, and I don't have any plans to go to the US anytime soon, because my only way to try and sample and review Orabella is to like go across the border, go to the States. I even replied to a lot of comments saying like, Emma, try Nightcap, Emma, review Nightcap, saying like, sorry, like I don't think I'm gonna be reviewing it. It's literally not available in my country. I don't know if this is a sign that Orabella will be expanding to Canada soon, because they sent this to me for review. This showed up at my door. This was sent to me in PR. This was gifted, which was super nice because I gave them a very critical review, so I do appreciate that they can take some criticism. But yeah, this is the new fragrance Nightcap. It is a ginger vanilla scent with spicy notes. It's kind of along the lines of like Diptyque Dwell. There's a lot of ginger in the opening that really smells like kind of a fresh root beer when you first spray it. The base for this fragrance is oil, not alcohol. So this is one that you will have to shake up to make sure, because it doesn't have fixatives keeping it in place. So you have to shake up so the perfume oils mix with all the other carrier oils. I'll spray this on myself for the sake of the video. This is, oh, fair warning, these aren't supposed to stain clothing, but I did hear people say that this specific juice stains clothing. So I do have a full review on Orabella there if you want to hear me talk about like my full thoughts about the brand and formula and stuff like that. Anyways, in that one I did try spraying on clothing, no staining whatsoever, which I was really impressed by because this is literally oil. I have heard from others that this one does stain clothing, so be careful with that. Also, I recently did a Perfume 101 video and I said you're not supposed to rub your wrists. You're not supposed to do that for alcohol-based fragrances, but when it comes to oil or water-based fragrances, it will literally drip down your arm unless you rub it in. So there is slip. Rubbing when there's an oil isn't gonna create like friction because oil is a lubricant, so you're fine. This is a formula you are definitely supposed to rub in. I love the base, it's super nourishing. The scent, I'm so mixed on. I like the opening. I think this smells really pretty. It's definitely my favorite from Orabella so far. I think it makes so much sense for fall. It makes me think of like kind of a cozy fall scent. However, this is a scent that I think, because it's an oil, I see this more as like a base. Like I would spray this on and go ahead with like Vanilla Skin by Fleur or Rise and Shine and put this on top. Like this is not one that I think stands alone. Even though it does have base notes of, you know, patchouli and vanilla and all this stuff, I think that someone who would like those kind of notes, like if you like Diptyque Dwell or any kind of like Minuit Demi warm spicy scent, you are used to the fragrance having more base, more oomph. And this fragrance feels flat. The longevity of the scent isn't crazy, so I think it's more of like a layering base. I don't know if I think it's worth the money. It's my favorite from Orabella in terms of scent. I do think it smells pretty, it smells nice, but do I think it's worth the money? No, it lasts on my skin for like, I don't know, 2-3 hours. Side note, so there's perfume oil in here, and there's also the carrier oils, which are supposed to be like hydrating for your skin. And one of them includes mushroom oil, and I've never smelled mushroom oil, but when I smell this, I smell the perfume, but there's like something kind of weird in it, which I think is the carrier oil. I think I can literally smell like the mushroom oil in this, and so there's kind of like a bit of a weird thing happening that I'm not so obsessed with, but I don't dislike this. It does kind of smell like a flat root beer to me. I think it really works for fall. It's my favorite from Orabella, but is it a you need to run out and buy it? No. Also, you cannot smell the patchouli in this. Don't smell any patchouli. It's not super earthy. I feel like if they're gonna do like an earthy, they have pushed the boundaries in a lot of their scents. They've been really like unconventional and different, and I feel like this one is trying to be that, but they should have gone a little further. Like if you're gonna go for a warm spicy, have it more spicy, have it more earthy. Like if you're gonna appeal to people who want those kind of fragrances, this one falls short because it kind of just smells like a vanilla with just a little bit of something, but like not enough, such that people who want a pure vanilla, this is not exactly there, but then people who want a warm spicy, this isn't there either. Like it's kind of in a weird middle ground that I didn't think particularly worked. But that's just me. I don't know. What do you guys think of this one? But thank you, Orabella, for sending it to me. Do appreciate that. The last one that I wanted to talk about was one that I got recently. And this is from a brand that I've literally never talked about before other than their body care. And this is Aesop. Aesop. And they have a scent called Virere. I got this fragrance and the packaging was all like green. I'll put in some images of like the promotional photos. I was like, okay, like I've had fragrances from Aesop before, and they smell very natural, very botanical, like something that you would smell in a forest or a spa that uses a lot of essential oils. They smell very natural, which I really like about them. And they're also very, very strong. So I had that in mind. I was like, okay, it's a green scent. And you know me, I've been wanting my fresh, gourmand, warm, spicy scents, but this one is like green, and that's fine. And the word vetiver I thought was like vetiver. I thought it was gonna be like a vetiver scent, and I'm not the biggest vetiver person. So anyways, I put this on card first. And I was like, oh, this is really good. I didn't read anything about it because sometimes I just like to smell things and just perceive. I still have it on right now. This is so beautiful. So the notes are actually bergamot, fig, and green tea. So this is a tea perfume. This is a tea scent, and it's so funny. It literally came to my door right after I filmed and uploaded the tea perfume video, so just missed out. This one is a gorgeous, earthy, a bit of a dry hay in the background. The opening is like a moist fig with like an earthy background. It's very much like I'm walking into it makes me think of like the Katy Perry Roar music video, except like more foresty, like you know how she's like walking through the woods. That's kind of what this smells like to me. And I think her hair is like wet in it. So pretty. And anyways, you get like a lot of green tea. It's very fresh, very botanical. And as it sits on your skin, the hay starts pulling forward. You start getting a little bit that dryness, that kind of like matcha note maybe, but it's still very foresty and botanical. And this one's different from all the tea fragrances in my collection because this one's more unisex, I'd say. Like, I mean, a citrusy green scent is always unisex, but I feel like my scents have been a little like more light and delicate and like pretty. This one has more woods. It's earthier. It's definitely more like your feet are planted, like you're smelling tree bark and these like woody elements that I think lend it to be almost like, I definitely wear this, but I could also see this on a man and think it's smelling delicious. So anyways, that was Vetiver by Aesop. I will definitely have to try more of their fragrances. I thank you guys so much for watching. That was my video. It ended up being a little bit more of like a PR haul because it had a few unexpected things that actually were like literally exactly what I was wanting. So thank you so much for watching this video. I have a really exciting video coming on Wednesday, so tune back in a few more days to watch a video that has been highly requested. I'm so excited for you guys to see it, and thank you guys for watching this video. I love you, and if you want a fall fragrances video, please let me know. Comment your favorite fragrances for fall. Like this video if you enjoyed it, or dislike it if you did not enjoy it. I'm okay with either. Follow me on Instagram if you want. My username is perfumerism. I do a lot of really fun things on there. Subscribe if you want. You don't have to subscribe, but you can. I just hit 90K today, which is like, or yesterday, which is insane. Thank you so much for 90,000 subscribers. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I'll see you later. Bye.